This is Chicago. At the dawn of the 21st century, Chicago's media was dominated by a handful of major corporations. But a resistance movement arose to free Chicago's media from their clutches. One player in this movement is the Chicago Independent Media Center and its TV show, Chicago Independent Television. The Independent Media Center is a worldwide network of grassroots correspondents committed to using the tools of the media for promoting social and economic justice. You are watching this month's dispatch from the Chicago Independent Media Center.
Welcome to Chicago Independent Television, a collection of progressive video reports by grassroots media workers from Chicago and beyond, produced free from corporate or commercial support or influence. I'm Joy Truskowski. In this episode, we report on recent developments in the famous 2003 March for Peace at a downtown Chicago highway, and we'll report on a recent environmental conference in St. Louis. We then go to Mexico to visit a new chapter of the bike-centered social movement Critical Mass, and we'll watch a Chicago music video about torture and police brutality. Stay with us.
On February 17, 2009, all high-power analog TV in America ends, to be replaced by digital television. You probably heard about that, but there's a lot about this conversion that you probably haven't heard. About 50 million people in America still use analog TV, most of whom are poor, elderly, or don't speak English. There's no plan and little funding by government and industry for outreach and serving the public, and broadcasters are hoarding up free TV spectrum for themselves rather than for public use. Get the facts. Visit dtvredalert.org to learn more.
Welcome back to Chicago Independent Television. 5 years have passed since the historic March for Peace on Chicago's Lakeshore Drive, an event that has sparked a legal battle between the protesters and the city. In this segment, we'll look at recent developments in this struggle for civil rights.
The city of Chicago has put a price on free speech. It's $1.5 million. It started with $1.6 million, then they rectified that, said attorney Janine Hoft of the People's Law Office. We were very gratified by that. Hoft is part of the legal team representing hundreds of people arrested when the Chicago police decided to shut down a mass protest the night after the Bush administration declared war on Iraq. A lawsuit claiming that the arrests were conducted under false pretenses was filed on April 2003. It named 11 plaintiffs, and on April 2006 it was allowed to proceed as a class action representing all arrestees. By that point, the city had thrown out charges wholesale, but it responded to the class action certification with a countersuit, seeking to have protesters pay for the alleged costs of regular and overtime police work on the night of the mass arrest.
Yeah, folks, please leave the area. Don't subject yourselves to arrest. Hands out, I want to see it.
Earlier this year, a federal judge ruled that the city couldn't countersue all class members. The city then filed an amended counterclaim targeting the 11 plaintiffs named in the class action, including a legal observer and 2 people who didn't participate in the march. The ordinance being used to collect for city services was put in effect for cases where the city had to handle hazardous waste cleanups on private property. According to James Fennerty, another one of the attorneys representing the protesters, this is the first time that this ordinance has ever been used in a situation involving First Amendment rights and a peaceful protest. It's a very, very sinister thing to happen if they can go through with this, because maybe people will be afraid to demonstrate and their rights will be chilled if they have to pay for police services. Fennerty's legal team recently filed a motion seeking dismissal of the countersuit. The motion claims that the Chicago Police Department ratified the march by allowing it and directing it, indicating to the marchers that their actions were lawful. To back up this claim, the attorneys put together a DVD with video footage suggesting that the Chicago police was in control of the march at all times. The footage shows police officers waving marchers onto Lakeshore Drive, helping an elderly woman onto the drive, rerouting traffic to facilitate the march, and later preventing anyone from leaving a 2-block area between the drive and Michigan Avenue.
It's me again. Same spot. I'm not liking the looks of this. They just handed plastic handcuffs out to all the police. All the riot shields are in. I'm guessing basically we are surrounded now. They're telling people, and the nightsticks.
No gas masks this time.
No gas masks though. They are telling people you have to go back to Lakeshore Drive. When people go back to Lakeshore Drive, they're telling you have to go back to Michigan Avenue. You go back to, basically, we're penned in.
At one point, people can be seen imploring unresponsive officers to go home.
Let us go home, please. We want to go home, please.
Much of the footage was previously seen on news broadcasts and on the independent documentary Where We Stood, but there was also newly revealed footage from a police cameraman. The footage was filmed after the mass arrest, and it shows police officers requiring people who weren't arrested to drop their protest signs before being allowed to disperse in small groups.
I want to see your hands up. I want to see them out. All posters and everything you need to hear. You think he's right there? Drop the posters. If not, you gotta stay here.
What is the cost of the city's legal maneuvers? That's not the kind of information they give out willingly. A Freedom of Information Act request from 2006 showed that the city had spent about $2 million in litigation related to the mass arrest at that point. So, the cost of suppressing free speech on March 20, 2003 is at least $3.5 million and may be much higher. The history of the Chicago anti-war movement and the related struggle for civil liberties have largely been ignored by the mainstream media and the public. But if this struggle is translated into dollar signs, maybe they will start paying attention.
Mr. Dorothy Mendoza would like to talk with Officer Risling. We want to keep this non-violent.
You're watching Chicago Independent Television.
I see the soul of a nation, must be true cause I've seen it on TV.
I am a soldier who survived the fear of facing Uncle Sam and saying, "Sir, no sir. I won't fight for lies. Forgive me, wounded soldier, for not being there to ease your pain. I'll try on this end to bring you home now."